Nervous about doing a listing presentation? Well, this video is for you. We have live realtors doing a listing presentation, and Dot Hicks from Maryland, she moderates these, she organized. So stay tuned and watch this presentation because it's excellent.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Today is a beautiful day, and we have a wonderful treat in store for you. We have superstar Newton Pavar, who will be providing her expired listing presentation inspired by Mike Ferry. And we have superstar Lily Handy Dominguez, who will be the seller. So Newton, why don't you go ahead and give us some information about yourself, and then Lily provide us with some information about yourself, and then we will get started with today's presentation.
Sounds great. Thank you, Dot. My name is Newton Pawar. Hello, everyone. I am an independent broker with Dream Homes Realty. I have one other agent working part-time for me. And the reason I decided to become an independent broker is I like the creative process and having more control over my business. And my vision is to make home ownership available to everybody.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Newton. Lily.
All right. Hi, everybody. This is Lily Handy Dominguez. I'm in the San Antonio area, and I also do the Rio Grande Valley, which is 4 hours south of me. And I'm a retired engineer that went into investing and then into representing clients, buyers and sellers. I prefer working with sellers, but I also do some buyers. And have experience in 3 different markets. So it's like moving is a challenge.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lily. All right, Newton and Lily, take it away.
Hi, Lily.
Hello.
Thanks again for having me over. I'm excited about getting your home on the market and getting it sold. Do you mind if I put down my papers on your dining table?
Not at all. Please do.
Okay, thank you. I sent over a package of marketing material. Did you have a chance to review it?
A little bit.
Wonderful. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have after the pricing presentation. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Do you mind if I take a quick look around your home?
Go ahead. Usually I like to show it, but I understand. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And the reason is when the showings happen, typically it's either myself or the buyer's agent accompanying the buyer who is with them. So gaining the buyer's perspective is important. And that's why I usually do a quick around the house by myself.
That's a good point.
Great. So Lily, at the end of my presentation tonight, one of 3 things will happen. You will have the opportunity to list your home with me, or you'll decide not to list your home with me, or I'll decide not to take your listing. Anyone is fine.
Wow. How would you decide not to take my listing?
Well, that's a great question. And I have to tell you, I'm a very transparent, sincere agent. If I feel I cannot deliver on your expectation, I will let you know at the end of the presentation so that we can part friends.
Okay. Sounds fair.
Great. So let's quickly take a moment and review the questions I asked you over the phone. You said you were moving to Florida, correct?
Correct.
You said you were moving because of health reasons and you needed to be closer to family. Is that right?
Yes, need the family support.
Absolutely. Now you said you need to be there as soon as possible. Is that correct?
Yes, like yesterday.
Well, I totally understand that. We'll get you sold quickly. Don't worry. You would like to price your home at $500,000. Is that right?
Right.
And you said if you didn't sell your home, then it would be a hardship for you because you will have moved to Florida and you will have to continue maintaining a home in Connecticut. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So I don't want to have 2 places to maintain.
Right. Plus, Connecticut winters can do a number on your homes, if it's not been lived on.
Yeah, especially cold winters.
Absolutely. And you said you would like to price your home at $500,000, correct?
Correct.
Great. And you own the property free and clear. Is that right?
Yes.
Great. Now, you weren't planning on selling it yourself, were you?
No, I thought about it, but with my health conditions, it's just going to be too much work, too stressful, and I don't need the stress.
I agree with you. You did want your money out, correct?
Yes, that's my retirement money, of course.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it too. Wonderful. Now, there are only two issues we have to look at tonight. Number one, your motivation to sell this home. And number two, the price we set on your home. It's important that you understand those are the only two issues in selling real estate today. Lily, are we good on that?
Yes, we're good on that.
Great. So, it seems like you're motivated. You have to absolutely sell the home, correct?
Yes, I am motivated at the right price.
At the right price, right. So then tonight, the only issue that we have to address is the pricing of your home. So in order to determine the pricing of your home, I've prepared what we call a comparative market analysis. Now, there are two parts to this research. Part one, and forgive me, we call this fantasy land or make-believe land.
Fantasy land. So
Yeah.
you think you're trying to tell me that my 500,000's in fantasy land?
Well, we'll take a look at the comparables, and then we'll come up to a decision. But when I say fantasy land, what I mean is some homeowners will list their homes at a very high price. So essentially they will list, and the property will be listed and will sit on the market. And then part two, we call reality, what real estate agents like myself will list and sell homes for. So tonight, we're going to have to decide where you want to spend your time. List and sit on the market, or list and sell and get off the market.
Well, I want to sell it, okay? But I want to get my money out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an older person. I've got heart conditions. And so, I can't be messing around loose and leaving money on the table.
I totally agree with you. And my job as a real estate agent is to get you the most amount of money. So I think there we have a common purpose.
Well, let's see what you got to say.
So let's go through the two parts together. Now, the purpose of the comparative market analysis is to determine the value of your home in the eyes of a buyer. Do you know how buyers determine value?
Yeah, they compare. Nowadays, they look online, all these darn websites on the internet. And, I do the same. That's why I think, my property's worth 500,000.
And you're absolutely right. That's how buyers determine a value of properties, by doing comparison shopping. They look at the price of your home based on its features and benefits, and then compare it with the features and benefits of other properties that have recently sold and are currently on the market. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, because I guess I'm going to be doing the same.
Absolutely. So when you are in Florida, right, let's say you're looking for a condo, right? You find two beautiful condos, exactly identical, right? 3 bedrooms, 2 complete baths in a golf community. Now, again, make believe and think that they're exactly alike in every which way. They're priced at 500,000. Which one would you choose?
Well, I guess the one that meets my needs. Okay.
Let's say they both do.
Well, if they both do, then man, I'd have to toss a coin, I guess, if they're identical.
Right. Then it has to be random, right? But you would be okay with either, is the point I was making, correct?
Yeah, I guess.
Great. Now let's consider a second scenario where same 2 condos. Now the first one is offered to you at 450 instead of 500, right? Which one would you choose now?
Well, 450, of course.
Why?
Because you say they're identical and they meet my needs, so I want to pay less, keep more money.
Absolutely. Now let's consider a third situation where same 2 condos on the outside, priced at 500,000, but the second one now has central air, right? And updated kitchen and bath. Which one would you choose now?
Well, I guess in South Florida, I'll need that AC, so I would go for the central air.
So you would be getting more for the same amount of money, right? If you were choosing the second condo?
Yes, if they were identical and it had air conditioned, yeah. In Florida, I want air conditioned.
Absolutely. So you can see that if you want to increase value, you have to either lower the price or have more features and benefits for the same price. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Wonderful. So unless you're planning to add more features and benefits to your home, are you?
No.
Okay, then price is the only issue. Can I show you what I mean?
Yes, please do.
So this is a summary report of the comparative market analysis. Let's take a look at the first property. The address of that is 4 Lenora Drive in Simsbury. So we're going to go across. How many bedrooms?
It's got 4.
How many baths?
3, 2, 2.5, I guess.
And what's the square footage?
2248.
Do you know this neighborhood? 4 Lenora Drive in Simsbury?
I'm familiar with the area, but I've never gone into the home.
Yeah, it's a beautiful neighborhood. Have you seen this house?
No, not on the inside.
Okay. You know, after we do a recap of the summary report, we will visit each 3 of this so that we can take a look at the pictures and have a visual clues as to how they are. But just based on this alone, I would say that this house is better than yours.
Well, it has more acreage, so that makes it better.
Right. It definitely has more acreage.
But by looking at the numbers, I don't see how it makes it better.
Okay, let's go over and take a look. This is, can you see this house? Can you see the pictures? Let's quickly look through the pictures.
No, I cannot see the pictures. Plus, these are older homes, right?
Can you see the pictures now, Lily?
No.
Okay, let me stop the share and come back to it again. Okay, here we are.
I see.
So that's the outside of Lenora. By the way, this house has central air. New furnace that was installed in 2010 has a roof, has a newer roof, only 5 years old, and has a full finished walkout basement, and as well as the updated kitchen with steel appliances that you see. Let me know if I'm going too fast.
No, fast is better. You're doing well.
All right. So that's Lenora. I'm going to stop share for a moment. Okay. We go back to the second home, 8 Watson Simsbury. Oh, by the way, sorry. So the 4 Lenora, what are they asking for the list price?
500,000.
Right. And it closed at 495.
Right.
Okay. How long was it on the market?
13 days.
13 days. So the typical stay on the market time in Simsbury is between 9 and 16 days. So that was, I think, falls right in that interval. Going on to 8 Watson, Simsbury, how many bedrooms?
4.
How many baths?
2.5.
And what's the square footage?
2184.
Do you know this neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay, great. Have you seen this house?
Not on the inside.
Not on the inside. And the acreage is about less than the first one, but still close to an acre, 3/4 of an acre.
Right, close to mine.
Right. Well, we'll look at the pictures in a moment. But based on this and based on the picture, my observation is this house, your house is a little bit better than this house.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Your house is a little bit better than this house.
Okay.
Okay. What price are they asking?
Well, they were at $499, $900, like if it's on sale, right? A
Right.
little bit under.
Right. So, and that's a very interesting thing to observe is when they first came on the market, they were listed at almost 500,000. Within a week, I think they probably did not get response. They came down to 475, at which point 2 weeks after that, they came down to 460, and that's when they went into contract. So this is a good example to learn from that, if you price it right, it'll sell. If you don't, you'll be chasing the market. All right. How long was it on the market for?
Well, 21 days when I guess they got the offer, right?
Right. So that was outside the 9 to 16 day period. And that was only after that they had had 2 price reductions. Am I right?
They must be very, very motivated.
Oh, for sure. That's another way of saying things, for sure. Now, let me quickly go through the third home, and then I'll share the pictures with you. Is that okay? Or would you
Yeah,
prefer
that sounds better. Mm-hmm.
Right. So the last home is 52 Farmstead in Simsbury. How many bedroom?
The same, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2.5 bath.
Right. And almost an
2,000
acre.
Almost an acre and smaller than mine, 2,079 square feet.
Right. Now, do you know this neighborhood? Have you seen this house?
I've seen the neighborhood, yes.
Okay. So based on your house and this house comparison, I feel this house is very similar to your house. And we'll see it in the pictures too. So with 52 Farmstead, it does have central air. It is updated with stainless steel appliances. Additionally, it has sunroom and a finished basement, right? What price are they asking?
$499.
That's what the list price was. But see what happened? They had to have a huge price reduction to 450.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it sold at. What price? So how long has it been on the market before it sold?
29 days.
29 days. And you need to be in Florida as soon as possible, right? With family, so that you don't have to deal with the stress of upkeeping and house in Connecticut, right?
True.
Right. So let's go take a look at the pictures. So this is 8 Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Looks a little worn on the outside, but the layout is very similar to yours.
Yeah, mine has nicer landscaping.
And the front side, I do agree with that, yes. But this house has central air, and it has an additional feature, which is a 3-season screened porch. Kitchen's older, wallpaper could be gone. They have the great room just like yours.
Mm-hmm. So you said it had central air, but I see the heaters on the bottom. So is the central air just air, or it's also heating and air?
Central air is separate. I think the heating is for through the furnace for the hot oil. So that's 8 Watson. So after looking at this home, would you agree that your home is slightly better than this?
Yes.
Great. Now let's go to the last home. This is Homestead. Still a dark kitchen. I think what's trending right now is, white or light kitchen, but they do have steel appliances. Again, this home too has central air, updated kitchen, stainless steel appliances, and a sunroom. So these are additional features that your home doesn't have. Your home doesn't have a central air, but this one does. So that's how a buyer is going to compare apples to apples.
And mine has solar system.
You have solar system, and that's a great add-on value. But everything else being equal, if you had solar, you would definitely get more for it. But a buyer will likely treat it differently if you don't have central air. Then the lack of central air will maybe cancel out the benefit from a solar.
Well, Connecticut gets pretty cold, so I don't see why you always need central air. I've lived there for years and years without any central air.
Yeah, that's always human nature. You live in central air for a week, you get used to it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, a lot of youngsters spoiled nowadays.
I agree. So they too have a finished basement. It's not a walkout though. That's the space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what price do you feel we should use to create value in the eyes of a buyer and get someone to decide to buy your home versus the competition, Lily?
Well, I'm thinking that, looking at this, and right now there's not much competition, right? Because it's into the fall. A lot of people take their homes off the market. And so you didn't show me, competition right now to see what's on the market, because these sold, in August and September, and no, August, right? Yeah, I think they all sold in August, maybe one in September. So it's pretty close. I'm thinking $495.
So your house was on the market for about 127 days for $499 and it didn't sell. Do you think if you price it at $495, it'll sell immediately and get you to Florida?
May not sell immediately. However, it has very nice landscaping. It's a warm and cozy home, nice location. So, and like I said, I want to get the most that I can out of my home because, this, I'm not going to be working anymore or anything like that. And with my health issues, I need as much money as I can keep.
Absolutely. And my job as a real estate agent is to make sure you get the most amount of money out of your home, right? With that being said, if you price it at $495, right, it's turned away a lot of buyers who would not give it a look had you priced it at something like between $460,000 and $470,000. That'll open up the marketplace, more buyers will come in, more showings, and more showings usually will translate into more offers, right? As opposed to keeping it at $495.
Wow, 460 to 470.
Another way to look at it, Lily, is this. Let's say you were to upgrade this house from what it is to a house with an AC. The cost of installing an AC is about $25,000.
Yeah, and I'm not going to do that.
Exactly. So, but this is what a buyer in the marketplace will want, right? They will look at your home. Your home is beautiful, right? But that amenity will make or break a deal. Let's say it costs $25,000 to install an AC. If you take from $495, $25,000, it brings you to about $470, right? So my recommended range to list your property is between $460 and $470.
Well, and what is your commission in this
Great
case?
question. Since I'm an independent broker, my commission to you for being a full service, excellent brokerage is 5%.
5%. So can you still discount that?
I don't discount my services. I don't discount my percentage.
Why not? You want me to discount my price?
You're not really discounting a price. A discount applies only if a price is valid in the marketplace. We are trying to determine a price for your property, right? What you think discount is not really a discount, right? A price of the property is determined by the buyer. If you price it at $499 and you get no takers for a buyer, that means that is not the right price. We need to come down. And we need to keep coming down until it can match the market expectation, until a buyer can see the value of your property at that price.
Yeah, that makes sense, but man, that's a big drop. And I understand what you're saying about the air condition, and it brings value. I still think my solar system brings value, and that not everybody needs air condition. And so right now you're showing an active property for 400,000.
Right. There are similar properties, but again, that's a Cape Cod. It's a different kind of a building, right? Where
right, that's different.
Yeah. So there is an opening between 400 and 535 for a property to go in quickly and get sold. Although I have to alert you, the other property that you see at 42 Winton Drive, that's a pre-foreclosure and has been listed and relisted again. So even though it says the days on market is 32, it's been on the market for almost 9 months.
Yeah, because that's, a little similar to mine, except for the acreage. Mine is closer to an acre.
Correct.
And it has less bathrooms. So, all those right there, they only have 2 bathrooms. Mine has 3.5. So a bathroom costs, 10 to 20,000 more, because that's an expensive thing to have plumbing.
Right. Yours is 2.5.
More expensive things. And yeah, mine has 3.5.
No, not 3.5, 2.5.
I'm sorry, 2.5. And okay, I lost track of my bathrooms.
That's okay. I think you must be really stressed out, Lily. We need to get you to Florida.
Yeah, with my health condition and stuff, sometimes I get a little forgetful. Don't like that, They call it the golden years. Oh my gosh.
Well, you need to enjoy your golden years with your family. So what price do you feel, Lily, we should use to create value? And I just don't mean just put some price, but really a value that buyer will appreciate and will want to bid up the price, or will want to come in and close the deal. What is that price?
Well, if I do list it, I think I need to think about it some and maybe see if 480, starting at 485 might be an option, and see what you're willing to do for that.
Okay.
Your marketing and some open houses. And do you market on all social media? Do you have a YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff nowadays?
Right. Yeah, you will not be disappointed with my marketing. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I became an independent broker, because I wanted to be creative with my marketing. So I do all the regular marketing, as well as, the social media, the YouTube. I also go door knocking around your property. So I'm what they call an active and aggressive agent. I leave no stone unturned. So going back to the pricing, Lily, I'm happy to put in a contract price of $485, but I also want to put in a condition that within the 10 days our listing goes live, if we are not able to get a sizable offer or two, you should be able to reduce it to my recommended price of $470. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
This is the best way to get you to Florida.
Yeah, that's true. You're quite persistent on pushing that idea.
You will be happy. And you'll be happy how quickly we'll close on the property too, Lily. You know, it's the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassle. You'll be very happy with the results.
So you think the market is good enough right now to sell it within, like those, 15 to 13 to 20 days?
Absolutely. You know, if you wanted to go sooner, you can even lower the price furthermore. But I want to
Don't push me so much, okay? Don't push me so much. One step at a time, all right?
Okay, I'm just having fun. But I'll be
Okay,
good with
yes, I
485.
like your personality, and you're open to different ideas, and I like what you showed me, and I like how we've been talking on the phone. You've been persistent, and all the others, they kind of give up. And so, all right, I think I can agree to starting at 485. And if it doesn't create much activity, then I'll agree to go down to your recommended 470. But you got to work on it, okay? You got to do. I know open houses don't always sell it, but sometimes they do.
Oh, I do open houses. You know, like I said, I leave no stone unturned.
And
So
lots
I'm
of
putting
online
together-
marketing, and you don't need to show me the marketing. I keep track of all those different websites and stuff. So if you have a good presence online and you say you're a pit bull, well, you didn't say pit bull, all right, but you said you were aggressive, right? And pit bulls are nice aggressive, okay? Yeah, okay.
But to your point, Lily, I do provide a weekly activity report every Tuesday to my clients. So you will see midweek the hits we are getting from different websites, different portals to assess where our activity and our buyers are coming from. You will get that report from me.
Okay, so am I going to be just talking to you? I mean, you're a broker, you said. So am I going to be talking just with you, or do you also have assistants that are going to be calling and bugging me?
I will be the point person, and I will be bugging you.
Okay, now what if I'm not happy with it, or something happens and I've got to change my mind? Can I get out of the contract? I don't want something, that I am so committed that I can't get out. I don't believe in that.
Well, you know, I like to have open policy. So if at any time you're not happy with my services, please bring it to my attention. And I would definitely say, give me a chance to improve. But the second time it happens, you're absolutely welcome to, end the association. But I tell you, you will not have problems with me. You'll be very happy. My past clients have said wonderful things about me, and I'm happy to share that.
Okay, and you'll put that in writing on the agreement, right?
Sure, I will.
Okay, because it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it. So
absolutely.
Always put it in writing, I have learned.
Yes, and I will be putting that in writing along with the fact that in 10 days, if we do not get enough traction and offers, we're going to revise our price from 485 to 470. So here I'm including it. Please sign.
Okay. All right. So you're going to be a little pit bull and get it sold within 7 to 15 days.
Oh, that's sweet to me.
All
my
right.
commission
Let's
check
get
coming.
it. Let's get
All
it
right.
done.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Superstar Newton Pavar and Superstar Lily Handy Dominguez. So Lily, why don't you go ahead and give Newton your feedback regarding her presentation?
All right, Newton, you did an awesome job. And it was nice the fact that we got to practice before, and you did the pre-qual with me. And you had been calling me, so that helped, right? To talking with me to get me to do it. And you followed the script really well. I think you responded really good to my questions, my hesitations, my insecurities and doubts. And you kind of matched my personality. Okay, we're getting along. And you were open to doing something different, which I liked, and that's to consider my price and then bring in the fact about a price reduction. And you showed some good comps. So it's hard to go against that, especially since I had already been on the market for a long time, right?
Right.
And in our pre-qual, right, I had said, oh, don't spend so much time, and you don't have to do all the marketing stuff, right? So that was good. I think you stuck with it. You had control, and yeah, you got me to sign. And you were personable and kept reminding me, okay, you want to be there and about your health. And you kept mentioning to me that you want to be closer to family. And so that's what's really important, right? You got my motivation and
Right.
why I needed to move. So that was good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lily. So Newton, how do you feel about your presentation?
Well, first of all, thank you, Dot, for giving me this opportunity to make a presentation. Initially, I was nervous, but then, I said, this is only going to make me stronger. So what I did was I switched off the view mode so that I could only see Lily. So when I was doing my presentation, it was as if it was just me and Lily, and that helped me focus on the task at hand. When I do presentation, I really like to get to the human factor before building a relationship and doing a sale for them. So when you make that connection, you know where they're coming from. And that really helps to break the ice. And then after that, it's just a conversation. So you have to go over to the other side, see what's important to them, what you can do to help them, because you have the knowledge. They just need the work done. So that's the approach I take. And I think working with Lily was really amazing. She was very supportive. We role played, went through the whole presentation a few times. And what helped was she gives very good feedback. And I come from a little bit of analytical bent of mind. So, she got it, and when she gave me a feedback, I got it. So I think it was nice to be doing this with Lily, and I'm hoping as I do more of this that I'm able to do it with other personality styles as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, you did an awesome job, Newton. Does anyone else have any feedback for Superstar Newton or Superstar Lily?
I can.
Yes, Ann.
So to Newton, I like the slide. I think when you show all the picture, and then you talk about it to give more visual, so that it's help with the presentation along the way. I like the way you engage with Lily. So overall, it's good. Just some minor suggestion. I noticed you use but quite a few times. I don't know if you're aware of that. Maybe try to be mindful of the but. Sometimes we present and then we but, and that will counter whatever you say before that. And I think when you handle the price objection, there's, I think in the script from My Fairy, there's one question that can be very effective when she keep asking for listing at higher price. It's like, what price you should use to create value in the eyes of the buyer and get someone decided to buy your home versus the competition. That will, first of all, that question alone will create power, short to the point, and have some authority in that, rather than we can start deter from that question. Right, it's in the script, My Fairy script. And I love that question because that's bring me back to the control. What price you think? It's not for me, it's for you to get the offer, right? Mm-hmm. And they was asked in a way that's very effective. The last one is objection handling about a commission, right? Like you cut commission, you just discount my price. Maybe you can repeat and affirm a little bit, right? Rather than you counter right away, because that sounds like a little bit of condescending. So that's why I say, if I were you, I would just agree with her. Yes, you may seem like, you know, it's out of expected. You use the objection handling from the price, right? Can I share with you why it's concerned me? All right, agree with her, and then ask if you can share your perspective about price, right? Commission is, it's just a value perceived, right? Perception of value. Then you say, if I give you a discount, yeah, every agent, they can do it to earn a business. This is how I earn my business. And then, you know, I can negotiate for you and use a Mike Ferry objection handling about you have the courage to do it because you believe that you can get her home sold with your full service and confidence in selling. Something along the way, you can add a little bit of your personality in. So I hope you don't mind. I just take note on that and say, but it's overall, it's a conversation. It's not scripted at all. Sounds like you practice a lot. And I like the way when, I think when Lily tried to raise up her voice, you matched that. I said, yeah, that's good to get back the control, right? Because if you continue to be soft with her, she will take over you. Right. I saw you raise your voice. That is very good. When you pay attention to her, you know, to the way and she raised that and to get back the control. So overall, I have no doubt that you can get a listing sign.
Thank you.
Good job.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, An. Does anyone else have feedback that you'd like to share? Well, I thought
really
okay.
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay, so this is Jacqueline. For myself, I would be careful about this house is better than yours, opposed to saying this house may have a little bit more upgrades. Instead of, you know, saying it's better than yours. I felt that showing the photos, you were too fast. They were fast. She did say, you did ask her if I'm too fast, then let me know. But she said, oh no, you're okay. I think as a real seller, that would have been too fast for a real seller. And then you said, stop sharing. Oh, okay. So that sharing back and forth was a little bit much for me. If I was a seller, I would have wanted everything on one page, the comps that compared with that property, and then you slide on down and see the photo of the property. But stopping sharing and going back and forth like that, it just took me, I'm just interested now. It was a little bit much. And you said you would use I feel, and sometimes the seller doesn't care how you feel. And so you may say this property, or say this property or house is, not saying I feel this property is, or you can say this property is, or the house is, whatever. You said that you put a pre-foreclosure in there in the comps, and I would want to know, why would you put a pre-foreclosure knowing that it's not the same as a regular sale, because they usually sell a little bit less. So that was my concern. It's like you said you put a pre-foreclosure, and that's why, you know, it was on the market a long time or whatever you mentioned. And my concern would be, well, why would she put a pre-foreclosure in there when it's not going to sell as a regular standard sale?
Jacqueline, I would say that today the pre-foreclosures are not so depreciated like they were back in the late 2000s. A lot of them are better priced today. It's just that they're pre-foreclosing because either they had a loan modification during COVID. So today's pre-foreclosures are different than years ago.
I
Okay.
agree with you.
So in our, okay, sounds good. So that was my feedback there.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Oh, you're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jacqueline.
You're welcome.
Roberto, did you have feedback that you wanted to share?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
oh, sorry.
Which one? Which Roberto?
Oh, well, there's Robert and there's Roberto.
Well, I wanted to just say that it was really good, Newton. I liked your presentation. Overall, I think you had control of the conversation. You were guiding the seller with your script, the direction you wanted to take your conversation to. I also think one of the things I liked, again, how you matched her. When she went up, you went up to take control of that and then bring her back down on the volume. And one of the things I would recommend is for the pricing, you gave her $460 to $470. And if you were to give her like an exact number, then I think it would have helped you. That way she can get closer to you versus her keep wanting to stay too high on the price. But yeah, overall, it was really good. I liked the presentation, and that's my feedback.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Roberto. Robert.
Yeah, I really enjoyed all the repeat and affirm. I really made me feel like you were on my side. I really enjoyed that, and all the matching and everything. I think it was in a great tone. It was very good flow. Loved it.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Robert. Does anyone else have feedback that you'd like to share or questions, comments?
I want to make a comment that I think, like when Roberto and I did the role play, I was kind of mean. We didn't do the pre-qual as nice and chat various times. And I think that helped with Newton, tone me down and see that she cared. She checked in with me. So she had already gone. So I had already had a conversation with her. So it allowed me to, know more about it and be nicer, as opposed to when I was with Roberto. Okay. I was very blunt.
No, I like the fact that you were really blunt with me.
Oh, okay. Well, good. You did awesome with me, though. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that the pre-qual when we're doing these, I think helps.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree. And I definitely do my best to make sure that you all have the contact information so that you can have that pre-qualification, because it really is, it is very, very important. Does anyone else have any feedback that you'd like to share? It's not mandatory, but it does help. It helps a lot. Anyone else? Well, let me say this. I thought it was an amazing presentation. Newton, you definitely came very, very prepared, very professional, millionaire real estate agent, top shelf, and when you talked about the 3 things, you were going to talk about 3 things, and you can list with me, not list with me, or I will not take your listing, and either one is fine. Lily came back and said, well, what do you mean? She wanted some clarification on that. And you said, I couldn't remember exactly what you said, but at the end of your sentence, you said something like, so that we can part as friends. Now, after you said, I want to make sure that we're able to part as friends, I would have had a tie down there, to create a win-win scenario. Wouldn't you agree? Something like that. But you didn't have a tie down after that sentence, and Lily came back because there was like a pause, but Lily came back and she said, oh, okay, that sounds fair. that sounds fair. But I think it would have been great if you had initiated the agreement on your end, and then, you know, for Lily to come back and say, oh yeah, that sounds fair. So I think that would be great to incorporate. I also love the fact that when you were talking about the price reductions, you place some emphasis on chasing the market. I think that's a term that I definitely want to start using when I'm talking to sellers who are overpricing and then making price reductions, because they think it's fine to overprice and reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce, and you're just chasing the market, and that's not what we want to do. So
I love that too.
like that. Yeah, Shelley, we're definitely on the same page with that. And let's see. Now, when you all were talking about, this was an expired listing that expired at $500,000. And Lily was talking about reducing it to $495. But I don't recall hearing anything about whether or not she had received showings or offers. You didn't question her about that at all. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that's another very important thing that we need to include when we're talking to sellers who have expired listings. Well, how many, especially when they don't want to reduce the price? How many showings did you have? Did you receive any offers? And then, you know, statistics usually state that if you don't have any showings and no offers, you want to reduce that price by 10%. If you have showings and no offers, then you want to think in terms of reducing the price by 5%. So I think with every expired, we need to find out, well, what happened with that listing? And you don't want to reduce the price, so you want it to sit and not sell. You know, so that I would definitely dig a little bit deeper. Yeah,
I love that when you're saying that if it had showings but no offers, 5%. I hadn't heard that before. But
oh yeah, I got that from Take 52. This is why Take 52 is just, it's better than just a mastermind. It is the master of masterminds. But I got that information from Take 52, and it's really an excellent statistic to use, or number to use, so that people can have a better frame of reference with regard to making reductions. When you got to the commission, and Lily asked about your commission, again, you really need to speak with more authority when it comes to your commission, because you said you're full service, excellent brokerage, but the point of the matter is your commission is 5%. Do you have any other questions?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because we shouldn't have to go into a whole lot of detail about it. It's 5%. Do you have any other questions? And let me see. When you and Lily made the agreement that you would price the house at $485,000, and within 10 days you would reduce it to $470,000. You talked about how happy she would be, and, you know, because she'll be able to move to Florida and so on and so forth. Right there, that was the opportunity to close and say, okay, now let's go ahead and sign the paper so that I can get to work for you and get this done. But because there was a pause, Lily came back with another question, and she started talking about the market, you know, so it just extended your presentation when I think you had a really great opportunity to close there, because, you know, she was resonating with everything that you said. Okay, yes, I'm in agreement, 485, 10 days, 470. That was it. That was it. So
you're right, Dot. It gave me a chance to ask more questions, and that's why I did.
Yeah, anytime we pause, it's going to give the seller an opportunity to ask more questions. And we have to always be the ones in control to ask the questions.
Right.
So, but I thought it was an amazing presentation. Again, I learned something new each and every week. I absolutely loved it. Also, Warren, do you want to speak and ask your question, the question that you had in the chat? Warren?
Yes, I was curious as to where could I get a copy of that listing presentation, because I thought the presentation was awesome, you know, and I'm fairly new. I've had my license for a while, but I'm fairly new at these gatherings, you know, Take 52 and this listing presentation. And I'm getting a lot out of this. So I'm trying to get up to speed with the rest of you guys, and thank you very much, you know.
Well, we're all in this together, Warren, and we're learning together. And if you're not on our email list, I just put the information in the chat. Either send me a text message on my phone or send me an email, and you will start to receive the recordings of the listing presentations every Wednesday evening.
Okay.
So I do send these out. But let me ask you, Newton, because Warren had a good point. I thought your presentation was very well structured. Do you actually have your script written out?
Yeah.
And would you like to share it with us?
Absolutely. I've just taken it from the Mike Ferry online presentation, and then as I was practicing it, I added more to it so that I wanted to keep it very scripted and have a flow. So there was no deviation. So I have written a few things on it, and I'm happy to type it up and send it to you.
Okay, wonderful. That'll be awesome. And then I'll include that along with your video next Wednesday. I'll include that in the email that everyone will receive. That'll be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody.
Dot.
I have a quick question, and this for the group as a collective. When someone owns the property free and clear, do you tend to still go over the net sheet, or how much value do you place on a net sheet in your presentation? Because I didn't see that here, and being as though she owned it free and clear, I'm wondering if that made a decision whether or not you went over a net sheet with the seller.
I always provide a net sheet, regardless
Okay.
of whether you own it free or clear or not, because people want to see that bottom line number.
You
know, after all of those expenses are taken out, because just because you own it free and clear, that doesn't mean
still
you get all of that.
exactly.
You know, so it's very, very, I think it's extremely important to be able to provide them with a net sheet. What about you, Newton?
So I'm going to share something with you, which is going to come as a huge surprise. I've never, ever shared a net sheet, but again, this is something this was a process I had adopted from my previous brokerage. They didn't do it, so I didn't do it. But now that I'm associating with Vulcan 7 agents, I see almost everyone will do a net sheet, and that's what I'm gearing towards. I didn't do it for this presentation. I'll rectify it for my next one. But I also wanted to share with you that my MLS is undergoing a change where in prior years, when we made a CMA, there was no extra sheet provided that would incorporate the net sheet, but we've just moved on to a new platform, and it allows us to do the net sheet.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, I think, you know, having a net sheet is vitally important for a lot of reasons, and really being able to dig deep just to make sure that people are aware of what they owe. Provide, especially if they have a mortgage, and especially if they were in some sort of financial difficulty. I mean, you need to have all of that information available so that you can really give them a good idea as to what they will be walking with at the time of settlement, or possibly having to come to the table with in
Right.
order to sell their home. So absolutely. Good question, Shelley.
I also provide an estimated net sheet every time, whether if they owe money or they don't. And what I like to do is on the estimated net sheet, like their bottom number, I always make it large and make it bold. That way they see all the commissions and all the deductions, but then at the bottom they see the big number of an estimate of what they'll be walking away with.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
perfect.
Because here in our market, in some counties, it's required that the seller signs off on the net sheet.
Yeah.
It's not, I realize it's not required in every market, but here, for us that comes along with required disclosures and whatnot. But I find them valuable as well, because even for those who own the home free and clear, they don't take into consideration, taxes and closing costs and things like that. So I think it's awesome that they get to see those numbers, and it lets the seller also know how important it is, or that they have an option to shop around for title companies and their fees and things. Everything is different. So it's other options that they can explore if they have all of those estimations in front of them.
Excellent point. Thank you so much, Shelley. Gina.
Actually, I was just going to say somewhat similar to that. I think, because Newton is in the Northeast, they do things a little bit different there. I know when I was in New York, it was an attorney state, so realtors don't do a lot of what we do in title states. So when I was there, we never did net sheets or anything like that as well.
Interesting. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Gina. Anyone else? No one else has any feedback or questions or comments?
No, I made a comment on the chat that the presentation that Newton uses predominantly, it's the Mike Ferry 1 minute presentation, and it's on the internet, and you can print out the PDF. And he also has the pre-listing qualification, which we both went through.
Oh, it's the 5-minute presentation. The 1 minute presentation just has 3 questions. This is the 5 minute.
But they still advertise it as the 1 minute presentation. So the first 3 questions is for 1 minute, and then the rest takes you into the.
Okay. Yeah.
It includes it all on one PDF.
So just so you know, when I had coaching with my Ferry system, the 1 minute normally work for someone who already know you, trust you. So be prepared for that, because most of the time, 1 minute will not get you the signature from the expired.
Oh yeah, right.
So yeah, but it's helped to establish the ground from the get-go. So I like after the 1 minute is the expectation to kind of lower their guard. Is a 3 scenario come in. So they design for a reason. But the 1 minute, if that's your friend, your family, and you done everything prior to that, they will sign with you for the 1 minute, because they already know everything upfront in the pre-listing package.
Excellent point on. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Harold.
Yes. I don't really have anything to say about the listing. It was a pretty good, overall it worked, and that's the bottom line. But as far as Mike Ferry and all that, anybody can go to the MikeFerry.com site, sign up for free, and have access to all kinds of forms and scripts, blah, blah, blah. And then the other thing is there are flat fee escrow companies out there if you're dealing with a cheapskate seller and it comes down to money. Like there was a guy I pitched to who I'm able to save him about $2,000 on the escrow. And that makes a difference to this guy, because they were doing the escrow flat fee for $1,500. Maybe it's way cheaper where you're at, where somebody else might be. But if you're dealing with somebody who's competition and every little thing that you're doing, to say, hey, look, I'm doing whatever I can to make it the best cost for you. but you can definitely get flat fee escrow.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Harold. Anyone else? Okay, so again, I want to say thank you so very much, Superstar Newton Pavar, and thank you so much, Superstar Lily Handy Dominguez. This was another exceptional listing presentation. We really appreciate it. And next Friday at 1 o'clock, we will have Superstar Ann Daltron, who will be providing her expired listing presentation inspired by Mike Ferry. And we have Superstar Nina Onuma, who will be the seller. That's next Friday here at 1 o'clock. So I'm looking forward to that. So on the count of 3, everyone, we'll say, take those listings. So 1, 2, 3.
Take those listings.
Hey.
Have a
Thank
good
you, everyone.
weekend, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
Lily.
Have an awesome weekend.
Bye-bye.
Love you
Bye.
all.
See you
Love
next
all.
Friday.
Next Friday.
Too.
All right.